This week on Chicago Beer Pass, Nick and I recap our visits to Aurora for Two Brothers, Maifest in Lincoln Square, and then coming up this weekend, we got the Sierra Nevada Beer Camp, and so much more. So let's get into this week's episode.
Yeah, because, you know, you get a cork knocked out, boop, it just flies like fucking 10 feet. We're like, yeah, let's do it. The legend, Mr. Pete Crowley. I love Pete Crowley, man.
How's that beer? It's what you think it is.
It'll be like the stuff you hear. You ever go to, every time you go to Floyd's, all the music sounds like this. Raw, raw, raw.
Hey, and welcome to Chicago Beer Pass. I'm Brad Chmielewski.
You called me mid-sip
Oh
there.
my God.
What's up, Brad? I'm Nik White.
Woo! Chicago Beer Week is behind us.
Yes.
Chicago Craft Beer Week.
Yes.
I guess it's still really Beer Week because, you know, Goose Island's involved and other players are here. So
Glad you mentioned Goose Island. They got a thing coming up this week. We got to talk about it
gotta
later
talk
on
about
in the show.
that,
I totally
so.
forgot about that. Good call.
but if this is your first time listening to the podcast or watching it, we got the YouTube version. What we do here is we drink beer and we talk about drinking beer. We stick to Chicago-focused, Chicago-themed here. Sometimes we dabble into the suburbs or edges of Indiana and Michigan at times. But we always kick things off by drinking a local beer. And this week we have the Around the Bend, what, their IPA?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Villainous.
Oh, Villainous, yeah.
Yeah.
Around the Bend, they used to brew at Ale Syndicate.
Rest in peace, Ale Syndicate. You know, Logan Square was stacking up on the breweries, man. I think I counted like 5 at one point. And Ale Syndicate was part of the 5. Yeah, I don't believe Ale Syndicate had a canning line though. So these guys have clearly like resurfaced somewhere else.
Yeah, I think they had already been making plans to leave Ale Syndicate's, I don't know, umbrella or arm. I don't know, just like
there's like
their space.
Yeah, alternating proprietorship, alt prop.
Yeah, so they had already been making plans before that. So when the debacle happened, they were not hit by it because they had already recently moved. They just kind of got their like start out of that space.
Okay. Yeah, and we're going with the which every brewery is doing from coast to coast. It seems like every region has a brewery that's just doing the sticker, the waterproof sticker on the can.
Right.
No, the sleeves are slowly fading away, right?
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the sleeves because you get like a weird crinkling kind of thing with your can, and it doesn't feel as hearty. But I guess you should pour it out anyway, so who cares? Then you're not using the can. But this just has the sticker on it. It's probably way cheaper because you can just print these out probably yourself too on your own printer if you need it to.
Oh yeah.
I don't know, maybe.
Waterproof's nice. Yeah. This uses a British yeast strain.
The sticker does?
No, not the sticker. The Villainous IPA.
All right. Coming in at 6.3. It's pretty tasty. I was not to like discredit Around the Bend. I think I've only had them like once, but I didn't really know what to expect here. I'm glad I'm digging this.
Yeah, I'm on board with this. Yeah.
Very fruity too. But yeah, we should dive into this coming week. I know we probably took it a little easier coming off of Chicago Craft Beer Week, but maybe not.
Yeah.
You want to kick things off? What'd you make it to?
Let's see. What do we do? Let's start in beautiful Aurora, Illinois.
Okay.
Home to Wayne and Garth from Wayne's World.
Yes.
And home to Two Brothers.
Right, one of their locations.
Yeah, one of their many locations. This was the 9th annual Two Brothers Fest. Dos Bros, man. So they have the Roundhouse out in Aurora, and this place is River Edge Park. So it's kind of like an outdoor music pavilion, right? So this was this is the Hop Juice, the old Hop Juice Festival. Now it's called
Hop Centric.
Now it's called Hop Centric, and this is their second year at River Edge. So it was last year, 2 years ago. It was at the in the parking lot at the Roundhouse. So they've upgraded a little bit. It used to be one day. Now it's the whole weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this was a good time. So it was a combination of special projects along with the pinball and the space that sits along the Fox River.
With pinball.
Yeah, they had like an old little pinball arcade there. Yeah. So, once you get there, It all kind of fell into place. It was actually pretty good. I thought the star of the show was easily these rotating special projects, man. So you forget. I mean, so it's kind of like it's basically a Two Brothers festival. It's like a celebration of all their beers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I got down with first beers I got were there's an Abelweiss wheat wine, and then there was a barrel aged Abelweiss wine.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Barley wine.
That sounds pretty good.
Those are both really,
It was good?
Those were fantastic. The wheat wine might have been my favorite. They had a lot of sours. Some of the sours were hit and miss for me. Some of them didn't do much for me. But they got one this phenomenon, and it's just a 5%, blonde sour ale that's foeder aged.
Yeah.
And who am I to say that this blonde ale is the best beer I had that day? But there were so many moves and turns. It was creamy. It was really low on that vinegar aspect that can
nice.
overpower sours.
Yeah.
It had a lot going on for just a 5% sour, just golden sour. So that sounds kind of weird for me to say.
Yeah, well, I always have like a weird feeling about Two Brothers sours. Like some of them I really like, and then sometimes I'm like, that was just not good, or like that wasn't for me. So it almost seems like they don't have that perfect yet.
Yeah, I'm looking at some of the picks, and it was like Hoodwinked. There's like a barrel aged whiskey porter.
Oh, Hoodwinked's good. I like that beer.
Hoodwinked was nice. That's the dark sour. It was nice, but like you said, some of them up and down. So like for example, they had apparently there's a black version of Hop Centric. It's like Hop Centric Black IPA.
Oh, okay, yeah.
From like 4 years ago. Like, then they're just like, yeah, here it is. It's like 2012 Black IPA.
And they just still haven't. So
right. You know what I mean?
but
I'm like,
so it's all, there's no hops in it.
it's just kind of roasty, kind of like, a little bit tastes like ash a little, not,
not ash, not ass.
It's not ass. It tastes a little ashy.
Okay. All right.
But yeah, to your point, some of the beers were great. It went up and down. It wasn't just across the board awesomeness.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
But then they had bands, and there was like other, I don't know, it was an event, right? So there's a lot of stuff happening.
The way the party was laid out, man, it kind of felt like you were a miniature version of the Great Taste of the Midwest. That kind of feel where the weather's perfect. You got the grassy knolls. You got a lot of space to party. Big, huge wooden lawn chairs for you to chill, and just beer everywhere, and even a pinball arcade with like old school Batman, like the Adam West Batman.
Nice, okay.
And even like Walking Dead, that kind of stuff. Good party, really, really nice venue too. So,
okay.
Yeah. So cheers to those guys, man. I had a good time out there.
Oh, and it was like all weekend, right? It wasn't just one day, but you were just there for one day.
I was just there for the one day. I tried to get out the first day.
Okay.
But it's in Aurora, man. Yeah.
What
are you gonna do? Yeah. Still one of my favorite logos is the Hop Juice logo or the Hop Centric logo.
Yeah, I think you posted it on the Facebook page and the Instagram account. So
yeah, and there's a ton of pics on those pages if you want to go check out all the special projects, the rotating tabs. If you want to see the description on all those, go check out those our outlets, our socials.
Yeah, so / Chicago Beer Pass or @ Chicago Beer Pass, whatever works there.
Yeah, for sure. Good party though. You almost forget that Two Brothers makes sour ales. I kind of forgot. So.
Yeah, it's not one I pick up very often. Yeah. I don't even see the sour ales in the store. So sometimes
maybe that's it too. Maybe just only
sometimes I used to, but
yeah. So, but when you're out that far, the first thing we're thinking is, all right, cool. We've been drinking Two Brothers for a few hours. Since we're out this way, where else do we go?
Okay.
And Lemont, Illinois is one of the spots that comes up, and Pollyanna is in Lemont.
Okay. Well, Salamo's right there, too.
Salamos is right there, too. But we had been to Salamos. Okay. So we were like, let's go somewhere we haven't been. So we went to Pollyanna. And, so it happened to be the Lemont Beer Fest that day.
Okay.
It's like a $10 entry.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I didn't even know. We got there. The street's blocked off. We can't park there. So it sits in like a strip mall, very small strip mall. And I guess like downtown Lemont. And we're like, well, let's do it. So we're there, and there's bands, and there's like way too many people, and it is hopping.
Yeah.
This party. I always wanted to try Pollyanna because I've seen them at Sox Park even before this year, where there's like 75 local craft beers there this year. Even before that, they were at Sox Park. They've been there for 2-3 years now. So I have never really had their stuff.
Yeah, they've been hanging around for a little while.
So I wanted to check them out.
I've had them at festivals like Beer Under Glass and Hoptacular, things like that.
Okay.
What'd you think?
Let's see. There were 5 breweries there. Pollyanna, Hop Vine, 5 Rabbit, One Trick Pony. Actually, I can't count, so that's 4. Yeah. So 4 breweries there. The Palettas from 5 Rabbit was a safe bet. And then you can go into Pollyanna and try, like, they've got like 20 of their beers on tap. And then in this parking lot, you can only try the one. So I had their IPA. The name's escaping me. 7.3%.
Okay. Not with your face. I feel like this the Round the Bend is a better IPA.
Yeah, I would say I would give the nod to this Villainous over that beer.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what it was. It just wasn't my jam. It just wasn't for me. You had to
Okay.
overthink it. When you take the sip and you're just like, all right, what else we got?
Yeah.
So we bolted out of there kind of early. I think it's a party where people in Lemont can get excited about it.
Oh, for sure.
And that's, I don't know. That's about the extent of it, I would say.
Okay.
But while we out there, we checked it out. So that's where I
Well,
went.
I think it's hard for any of these breweries that if they're having a I don't know, a party, anniversary party like this, and they're not in the city, like getting people out there that maybe aren't from the town, like that's hard. But it's maybe a celebration for the people there. I guess. So
Yeah, totally. Yeah. So good for them. They had a really good crowd. And Pollyanna last year at JBF, they took a bronze medal for their Oktoberfest.
Okay.
So yeah, they got a lot of
They must be doing something right.
I mean, they got a good groove, man.
Okay.
And this place was completely packed. It was great. I love the energy. It didn't feel like I was, and I didn't feel like I was in a remote location.
Okay.
It was hopping. It was very good vibration.
Nice. Okay.
Good vibrations,
Good
man.
vibration.
Yeah. So that was that. What else did I hit? Oh, I went to Pipeworks versus Three Floyds
Okay.
at right here in Avondale, man, at Demon's Tap.
Demon's Tap.
So the Donerman,
Yeah.
the food truck.
Yeah.
They got a bar now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's that place. It's actually right
I
across
thought
the
it's
street.
just called the Donor Bar.
No, it's called Demon Tap.
Oh.
That's what the sign says.
Oh, I went there. Where did I go? I went there on last Friday,
Yeah.
and I thought it was just the Donor Bar. No.
It's Demon Tap.
Oh. I had a beer. I had the Jetstream, the wheat ale from Metropolitan, which I didn't know they made
Really?
a wheat ale.
Another Avondale resident, Metropolitan.
Yeah. But anyway,
Yeah.
that wasn't. I was there.
You were there.
And I didn't even know. I thought it was just the.
Apparently that's the old Square Bar.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to tell someone.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I think this was Square Bar. They're like, I never heard
Yeah.
of it.
I was there the last time the Blackhawks won it all. I was there that night.
Okay.
Yeah. I like that little section. It's just stumble. I could stumble home. That's
So this event.
yeah. It's a Monday night. Three Floyds Pipeworks takeover.
Oh.
So I see the Three Floyds rep, Danny. I'm like, what's going on? What are you guys doing? You trying to blow people's minds here? Is Three Floyds Pipeworks? What is this? And she's like, well, there's some synergy there, and then some of the employees from Floyd's now work at Pipeworks. Yeah. So Metal Steve in particular. So there's like
That's his name? Metal Steve?
his name's Metal Steve, man. You know Metal Steve when you see him. There's no one else in the room that could be named Metal Steve more than this guy.
Okay.
Yeah, so Metal Steve from Pipeworks is spinning vinyl. The Three Floyds folks are showing love. They're buying rounds. And so they got this beer, what is it? It's called Unicorn versus Zombie.
Okay.
Oh, but there's 2 versions. Unicorn versus Zombie, which was made
At Pipeworks.
and then the reverse, Zombie versus Unicorn, which was made at Floyd's.
Okay.
So it's supposed to be their take on a juicy IPA. It's got like rice in it, rice flour in it. So apparently,
Okay.
it's the exact same beer, right, at both locations, but they're completely different, And the Pipeworks guys are saying, on our system's different, and the rice fell out really quick, so it's lighter in body. And it's also lighter in color.
Okay.
And I think the ABV is a little different too, even though it's the exact same recipe on 2 different systems. So
But could you have both there?
I had them both there. Yeah.
Did you like one versus the other?
The Floyd's definitely had I would say it was a little more nuanced. The
Okay.
Floyd's one, the Pipeworks one was good. It kind of reminded me of Lizard King when I had the Pipeworks one.
Okay.
Yeah. So I had those 2, and then I had Mother Dreadnought, which is this wine barrel aged version of Floyd's Dreadnought.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah. But dude, this Demon's place, I was really excited for them because it's Monday, and there are no empty seats in this place.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay.
Yeah, and but shout out to those guys, man. They got some really cool Three Floyds artwork all over their space. You should check it out. So like Three Floyds has that Chris Berg is the original artist who did like it's almost like it's like the Last Supper, but it's like all the Floyd's characters from the universe. You know, the Alpha King, the Calumet Queen.
Yeah, I've seen that before.
Behemoth, the one that's behind the bar at Floyd's. So they've got that, but it's like sectioned off into like snippets all throughout the bar. And then there's some really cool like ninja stuff and like warrior stuff going on.
You know what they should do? They should blow that up for Dark Lord Day and cut out some of the heads like they do. You go to like theme parks or events and you can like put your head in some.
And then you can be like, you can be Behemoth if you want.
Robert the Bruce and like get like a group of people to get in that shot.
That would be great. Yeah.
That'd be pretty funny.
I have that picture in my home, man. That's my favorite piece that I got is like oh shit. Why do I keep talking with my hands? Now I'm fucking with the mic, man. Are we okay here?
Yeah, we're good.
The Last Supper with all the Floyd's characters.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So that was cool, man. Yeah, that was a good party.
Nice.
Yeah, Monday night parties, man. You can't ask for anything
No, that's crazy.
more than
Yeah. Yeah. When I was there Friday for lunch, it was pretty empty.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But a wheat ale from Metro. I don't know what's up with this because that's not their thing.
I feel like they're gonna be like throwing some more curveballs too because they got the new space, more capacity. Maybe they're gonna play around a little bit more because in the beginning it was just kind of like I think their ethos was like, hey man, everybody's making the same beers, so what am I gonna do? Be the 15th log,
The 15th IPA in the city,
yeah. So.
All right.
We'll see.
Cool.
Yeah, but that's all I made it to, man.
The only thing I checked out was Maifest up in Lincoln Square. It's kind of like the yearly, or I guess every 6 months they kind of do the same thing because they have the Oktoberfest or German Fest and Maifest. They're basically the same thing.
Okay.
You have your Stein. You got like German band playing.
Oh, it's like the spring version of Oktoberfest.
Yeah,
kind of.
But it's I guess it's more the Swedish version than the German version, but same to some degree. Like Chicago people just want to drink outside, so we'll make it whatever.
I just want to drink outside and some cool steins. Yeah.
So you can get a stein, you can get a big or a little plastic stein cup, and it's like I'm gonna say like $13 for a full stein. You can do PBR or Hofbrau. A couple bucks cheaper for the PBR.
Now where was this?
Right, like in Lincoln Square, right by the train there.
Okay.
I don't know. There's like a big parking lot.
Yeah, like right off the Brown line up there, right?
It might work with it's like a bus depot where buses park.
I know what you're talking about.
But yeah.
The big hall gun range, the big German house up there is like right across the street from there.
Yeah, they're like a little more in the square, so this wasn't in the square. But yeah, it's right over there. Yeah.
Okay.
So good time, just drinking steins of beer. You
drinking in the street.
Yeah, whenever you drink big beers outside, you have to drink them fast because they get warm very quickly, and then you're like, well, I want another one, but I still have some here, so you have to finish it real fast. Yeah, it's always you end up getting drunk very fast at these kind of events.
I hear you.
All right. So that was the only thing I made it to because I had a few too many steins. That night.
I love steins, man. I would make some room in my cabinet for some steins. Get rid of some of these tasters. Give me like a proper stein.
Yeah, one of my friends brought his like true stein because they fill up your stein.
Oh.
So they like whatever. Bring your own vessel. I should have brought like a Viking helmet or something.
Yeah, like the horn, or some of them are like made of pewter and they have like a little lid.
Yeah, his had the lid.
Yeah, and you can like
you gotta have the lid because you gotta keep it closed when you're
singing your prosit and all this all that jazz, right?
I had some guy. He was like getting his beer and he asked the guy behind. He's like, "How do you say cheers in German?" And even the guy pouring was like, "I don't know. Let me ask someone." It's like, it's Prost, man. Like, get with it. Like, what are you doing?
Man, this
is a German fest going on here.
What's it take to get good volunteers at these things nowadays,
man? You gotta know Prost. You gotta know how to order a beer. You gotta know beer in different languages and cheers in different languages. That's really all. And a bathroom. That's probably like your 3 words you need to know, right?
Maybe a couple other things, but yeah.
That's it.
Right on, man. Yeah, that's on my bucket list to go to Oktoberfest.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah, So right on. That's cool.
So that's really the only thing I made it to this past week. Planning to check out Haymarket up in Michigan this weekend.
Oh, the second Haymarket.
Yep.
Right. Yeah.
They just have Matthias cans getting printed today.
Really.
So yeah.
I love that beer. And cheers to them, man, because apparently the mayor, I saw that you posted this, the mayor has a podcast, and he's just like telling these Chicago stories. He's like, it's his love affair with Chicago, and it's apparently the first guest he had on his podcast were the Haymarket crew.
Right.
Yeah.
Not Pete.
No.
But they had a couple of the other guys. You know, it's always
Yeah,
good.
Mike Gemma, and Trevor, the head brewer.
Yeah, always great hearing from those guys, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like, shouldn't the mayor have better things to do than have a podcast?
I don't know, man.
Like, we have a podcast, so that means we could be mayor, right? Is that what I'm, like, kind of gauging from this?
I'm on board with this. If you just want to sit down and,
And he's just trying to put together a beer fest.
he's letting, Friday Night Lights is his focus. This podcast is his focus. I
Like,
mean,
what are you doing, man?
Meanwhile, some of these neighborhoods in our beloved city are going to shit. I mean, we could hang out and do beer stuff and let the city go to shit if that's all the mayor's going to
like
do.
the schools aren't working. These kids don't care about beer.
It's like, hey, let's focus on downtown. Let's focus on beer, and
we're good, right?
and we're good.
And the city's like,
Fuck the cops. Let them do or not do whatever they got going on, and just let most of the neighborhoods,
and most
Fuck
Chicago,
schools. Let's close schools too. All right, so let me slow down.
the Chicagoans can't. They're like, we like beer and we like drink. And we're like, rabble. So yeah, Friday Night Lights. Check out that podcast though with the Haymarket guys.
I'm gonna have to give that a listen. Yeah, I like
It was
the
pretty good.
Haymarket
It was
guys.
really easy conversation, just like them hanging out.
Right on.
Nothing too deep.
Okay.
So yeah. That kind of brings us into this coming week in the events. We mentioned the Friday Night Lights series that's kind of going on.
Yeah, so it sounds like Pullman and Bridgeport are the first two, and it's it's the city, Choose Chicago, which is the marketing arm of the city. They're partnering with breweries to celebrate local beer and do like mini festivals all throughout the city on Fridays.
Yeah,
So that's actually kind of cool.
that should be neat. Yeah,
Because you go to places like Portland or Denver, the beer is everywhere in the airport. I got off the plane in Denver and they're like offering you flights of different, Denver beers.
right.
Yeah, so it's different scene in other cities.
Well, Chicago's a much bigger city too. Like when I was writing up a thing I put up this past week, I came across that although we don't have more breweries than Portland, our breweries occupy more space than the breweries in like
more like actual like square footage, like
Yeah.
physical space.
So our breweries are like we don't have as many single breweries, but we have more brewery square footage than Portland
Okay,
because we are a bigger city. So that makes sense.
that makes total sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Cheers to you, man, on your my esteemed colleague Brad Chmielewski, writing a really cool post. You should go check it out. It's entitled "Did You Miss Chicago Craft Beer Week?" I believe
Yeah.
that's what it's called. Yeah, it's a good piece. You should go read it.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. I was like, look at Brad, man.
Yeah, we gotta stir the pot here. We gotta.
I mean, because there are some valid concerns, and if those concerns weren't there, there'd be nothing to discuss. So they kind of needed to be talked about. We talked about that. So
But there's events all the time, and so that's kind of what we dive into here, and that's kind of what I touched in a little bit on that. Like every week is craft beer week for us. Like I go
True.
to the same amount of events with a craft beer week or without.
yeah.
Really, I don't know.
Right. Yeah. So no, that's true. So instead of focusing on the wheelhouse, like people that are going, the goal should be, hey, let's elevate this, like we talked about last week. Let's elevate this and try to get some more of the novice and more of the casual people that aren't dialed in to come party with us, and that should be the goal of Beer Week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And especially neighborhoods like the South Side.
Yeah. Neighborhoods that we don't necessarily party in all the time.
Yeah.
Should be the focus. I totally agree.
So coming up this week, we're recording here on Tuesday. What do we got? What do we got going on this week?
All right, let's do it, man. We'll start at Thursday, Friday Junior in some circles. It's June 8th. Man, it's June already, man. Low Res is opening in Pilsen.
So this is the third Pilsen brewery?
There's Moody Tongue. There's a Lulu that you went to.
Yeah.
and I guess low res.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's a 6 p.m. start on Thursday. They're opening with 11 beers. They're in a building that's 130 years old. Apparently, they got about 2,000 square feet. They built the bar themselves. My understanding is that they're a couple of Cicerone grads, and this is their first project post Cicerone.
Okay. I love the name. Like, I like the name a lot.
It's cool, right?
Yeah, because, like, working in the video and stuff, like, there's, like, res or resolution is kind of like a thing.
Yeah.
So, like, when you're, like, low or half res, like, it's kind of like, it's neat. So I feel like I'm going to have to go get a hat. I'm going to have to, like, check this place out.
I am curious as well, man. So, and you're in luck, man, because they open in, like, 2 days.
Okay.
Right on. 11 beers. That's a proper opening right there.
That is pretty good, yeah.
All right, so that is Thursday. Friday, the local option is hosting Jolly Pumpkin. So Jolly Pumpkin has a series of wild ales that they've come out with. This is a wild ale invasion, so they've got 7 sours, wild ales, and saisons going on at noon at local option. A bunch of small batch stuff, apparently, that, it's not really too excessive.
They recently redesigned all their beer labels.
Oh, Jolly Pumpkin?
Yeah, so they have, like, a new look that looks a little more modern.
Yeah.
So it looks nice.
Yeah, and then they're also, Jolly Pumpkin is from Dexter, Michigan, wherever that is, but they're opening a brew pub in Hyde Park, Chicago.
Ooh,
Yeah,
interesting.
So that ought to be cool. So that is Friday.
Yeah, also Friday, and on the sour front is Half Acres releasing their second beer from the Cove.
Yeah,
they're calling it.
That Wild Cove thing. I didn't get a chance to try the first one, did you?
No, I didn't, but I might go grab this bottle because we're getting together with some friends over the weekend, and so maybe it's a good time to, like, hey, I got this sour beer. Let's try it.
For sure.
So check that out. That's a bottle release over at the Haymarket.
No, Half Acre.
Half Acre, sorry. Half Acre, like, tap room store kind of thing.
Oh, Lincoln.
There, on Lincoln.
All right, right on. So that's Friday. Let's slide right into Saturday. Sierra Nevada. Beer Camp Across America. It lands in Chicago this week. It's going to be at Navy Pier. So that festival goes to 8 cities. So they're calling it the largest celebration of craft in the country. They're probably right at that point. I mean, Navy Pier, they're the only brewery I know that occupies Navy Pier on that scale.
Okay.
So they're inviting, like, all these local breweries to come out and pour. It's $75 a ticket, but then they're also donating all the funds to the local Brewers Guild in every city that they hit.
Okay, nice.
So
that's pretty awesome.
So good for them, man. $75 VIP and a $40 general admission. That's at 3 p.m. on Navy Pier Saturday.
And you've made it. You've gone there before, right?
Yeah, I went to maybe 2 years ago now.
Yeah. Okay.
It was the only time I went to Navy Pier that didn't suck during the day. I hate Navy Pier, man.
The Mystic Beer Cruise.
Oh yeah, sorry.
on.
I shouldn't. Yeah, I shouldn't.
Kurt's gonna hear this and be like, "Yeah, Nick, that's it."
He's like, you know what, Nick, we're done. Yeah, but all right. So Navy Pier's fine. Yeah, it's the largest like tourist attraction. It's the biggest tourist attraction in Chicago, in the whole Midwest, actually. It's just so gross getting there. Like, it's like really far east, and then, like, all these tourists are always in your way on your way there.
Yeah.
It's like $40 a park there. Like, the whole vibe is just off. But you're right. We have partied pretty good there. I should take that back.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Kurt was really cool to us. This thing, Sierra Nevada's thing, was really good. And it's a nice indoor-outdoor play because there's, like, this open air. The Grand Ballroom's like open air kind of.
It's pretty big, yeah.
Yeah, it's a nice venue. I'm surprised people don't party there more. Maybe the price is just really high.
Probably expensive, yeah.
Yeah. So good for them.
Cool.
Yeah, that is also Saturday.
Nice. Anything else this weekend that people should...
No, I think that's all I got.
Nothing else. Of course, this
Oh yeah, shout out to Goose Island, man. They're doing Migration Week.
Logan Square? No.
Lincoln Square. Lincoln Square next week. So that'll include Bang Bang Pie Shop, where they're gonna have 2014 prop on tap.
And I think they just released a new Fulton and Wood, or the Gold Grumpy Man.
Yeah,
just
there's a Fulton Wood going down in this week as well. I think it's like a Cascara, which is the fruit skin from coffee, if I'm not mistaken, right? Yeah.
Is that one called Old Grumpy Man?
No, Old Grumpy Man's the IPA.
IPA, okay.
Yeah.
Too many one-off beers they're coming out with. I can't keep track of.
Yeah. And then has anyone, I don't know if we talked about this, Pitchfork is next month. And usually, 3-day music fest in Chicago, they talk about Did anybody? Are they brewing with?
Who are they brewing with? Do
I
we
don't know because Pitchfork's like a couple blocks from the brewery.
Ken, Honeymeter, what's up?
Honey Money.
Usually, you need to tell us about this.
Yeah.
What do we got? We don't know yet.
So Dank House is that place that I was talking about for Migration Week up in Logan or Lincoln Square. They're doing a 312 music show there. They're also we talked about Wayne's World earlier. There's going to be a Goose Island Wayne's World viewing at the Davis Theater
it all
up
comes
there.
full circle.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So Davis Theater turns 25 that week, and then Prop, Old Grumpy Man, and Cooper Project One are going to be at Bang Bang Pie Shop that week. That's all next week, starting Tuesday the 13th.
Okay, nice.
So Goose Island,
Whew.
doing lifestyle events, man.
Nice.
You know.
Well, we always like to wrap up the show here with some beer news, and there was kind of some interesting things that popped up this week.
Yeah, for sure. We'll start with Emporium Bar Arcade. And there's been a few more bar arcades that came online after Emporium, but Emporium turns 5 this week.
5 years already.
Just like that, 5 years old. So they're going to celebrate with a loaded taco bar from Antique Tacos, which is next door to them.
Yeah.
This will be Sunday. And then they're also doing a pinball tournament.
Okay.
Yeah, like an IDFPA pinball tournament. Sounds like some official international shit going on.
Yeah,
right
you
there.
can. I'm a international pinball. Like I'm ranked. You can go there and you can basically, if you pay in the tournament, you'll end up being a ranked pinball person.
Okay.
So.
Right on. I like pinball. My favorite one so far has been the Metallica.
That one's good. Yeah.
I like that one a lot. Yeah. So that's in the news this week. Also, Rate Beer, which is actually one of my favorite forums slash like rating system websites. Right. Mm-hmm. They sold a minority share, undisclosed amount of their business to Anheuser-Busch.
Well, they sold to.
Oh, sorry, you're right. XZ Ventures Investments,
which is Anheuser-Busch's venture capitalist fund.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
they sold a percentage of the company to XZ.
Because I feel like that's probably who knows what kind of.
So XZ is fully owned by AB,
right?
But they didn't. You're right. They didn't sell to Anheuser-Busch. They sold to XZ Ventures. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which I guess I didn't go to Ray Beer that often. I did like their interface was a little cleaner. They had a little more information sometimes than Beer Advocate. Mm-hmm. But Beer Advocate was just the site that always came up first when you would search a beer.
Yeah.
Just the one I kind of knew. So, yeah. But here in Chicago, we had, Beer Adam on Twitter.
Yeah.
He would write for
Adam Galvin.
Yeah. So he'd write, and he is usually this guy you see at a bar.
And he was
scribbling notes on his phone about a beer to make sure he gets it updated.
That was the thing I liked about Rate Beer as well. Over because there's really just the two.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, there's Untappd where you can check in the beers, but as far as online beer rating systems, I thought if there's Beer Advocate versus Rate Beer, I thought Rate Beer's descriptions were a lot more thorough. Okay. And I was always enjoyed that a little bit more than I liked Beer Advocate.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
But people are pissed on this.
I mean, it's a clear conflict of interest, if you're in an online forum for consumers to be owned by a producer of it's pretty clear,
right.
Like it's ridiculous, man.
So here's the thought is, right, if Anheuser-Busch owns this, they could potentially make sure their beers are ranked better than they necessarily should be. They can adjust those rankings. They can lower rankings on other people, maybe competition. So if you're looking you're like, oh, well, this beer is ranked higher. So information that you used to trust, a site like Rate Beer is now a site that you cannot really trust anymore.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate because it looks like the 4.5 million ratings, over 200,000 beers from 16,000 breweries. Mm-hmm. So they're a major player.
Yeah, Sam Calgione at Dogfish Head asked that his beers get taken off.
Yeah,
he doesn't even want them there. So that's kind of I don't know. I kind of like that. That was kind of crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Hop Leaf, they put up something today. They're like, hey, Consumer Reports, what if it were owned by a particular car company, mm-hmm. that kind of thing. It doesn't make sense that, it's not. It's ridiculous. Sorry.
Yeah, and I get that. I'm sure it's expensive to run the website like that on that scale. That's you have two options. So that website was probably hit, and the server costs were expensive. So.
Yeah, and then I mean, there's nothing wrong with money. So who are we to just like really boo-hoo it? But at the same time, it's kind of unfortunate too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess if you're out there looking at rate beer or looking for ratings on a beer, yeah, you might want to check both places now, or
Right.
or not check rate beer if you're kind of unsure.
I mean, yeah, it kind of pains you to say that, but I mean, how can you trust what they're doing if and then they're not really saying like, and apparently this happened back in October.
Okay.
And
the news just came out.
And the news just came out. So, there's very little transparency with who these guys are, and they're rating your beers, and how are you to trust them? I don't know. All right, so enough of that rubbish, man. It's typical AB fuckery, it seems like. AB does a good job of keeping their name in the news, man. I got to give them that, right? Because we talk about AB like maybe every other show on some level,
Well,
right?
We talked about Goose Island earlier,
Yeah,
and
so they're doing what they do, so. All right.
keeping other breweries out of the news. That's really, they are.
I hope we never lose sight of that, because man. I mean, variety is the calling card of craft beer,
Right.
Small, multiple choices, right?
Yeah. Sometimes those choices are not good.
That's true, and they're finding their way.
Yeah.
A lot of our favorite breweries at one point, weren't that great, but at least there was the option to go to one of 40, breweries.
Mm-hmm.
At least there's that option, and if this shit keeps up, those options are going to shrink, and that's the bottom line, and that shit sucked. That's horrible. So, all right. Oh, Save to the Max, where we you and I we attended a cool event there. It was a pop-up ode to the TV show. They close in Chicago.
Okay.
And they are their next stop's going to be Los Angeles.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So
that space is now empty.
that space is now empty.
Something else.
Probably go back to Geek Bar. It was the Geek Bar guys that owned it.
It was,
so
yeah.
We'll see what they do next.
Okay.
So
we had this week we had the Saved by the Max and the Pipeworks bar close. We have 2 empty pop-up spots. Maybe Pipeworks should just open up a pop-up at the Saved by the Max place now.
That'd be perfect because it's like 2 doors down from Peace.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
All right. Well, I think that does it for this week's episode of Chicago Beer Pass. Nick, where can people find you, get in touch when we're not here?
Right on, man. I'm on Twitter at Nicosio.
And I'm on Twitter at BRAD. Chicago Beer Pass is on Twitter at Chicago Beer Pass. A website, chicagobeerpass.com. All the episodes are posted there. We mentioned Instagram, Facebook. We do the Periscope. We have the YouTube. Yeah. There's a lot of places to see and hear what we're doing.
We are out here, Brad.
Yeah.
Out here.
So follow us around those interwebs if you want more drinking fun during the week.
Yeah.
All right. Well, take care.
Cheers.